The thrill of the climb, fresh mountain air, the serenity of being out here in the wilderness. You know, hiking is truly a timeless adventure, but the trails we used to do when we were younger might require a little bit more respect now that we're older, and maybe a different approach. Okay, so I recorded this episode out on the trail, very windy day. I had some camera issues, so I scrapped that and decided to bring it here to the studio instead. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so tip number one for keeping you safe as you get older out there hiking. Number one is listen to your body. It's talking louder these days. So our body is our wisest companion on the trail. So for most of us, it's not smart to push ourselves like we did when we were in our 20s. If and when we do, our bodies will remind us that we're not that young anymore. Now, we might do good to ourselves to choose trails that match our current fitness level. Maybe opt in for a shorter distance, maybe a gentler inclines. Maybe that's more appropriate. But if you're all about the challenge, that's fine. Just be careful to listen to your body and adjust your approach to whatever message your body is sending you. It's still true, you know, that slow and steady wins the race. And the view. Okay, so tip number two is be physically prepared. So many physical abilities decline with normal aging, like strength, swiftness, stamina, and coordinating movements. All those things tend to decline as we age. Now, much of this is associated with decreasing muscle mass. Although there is not much decline in muscle mass between the ages of 20 and 40, researchers at Harvard tell us that after the age of 40, we can expect a decline of about 1 to 2% per year in lean body mass and 1.5 to 5% per year in strength. There's a myth out there in our society that it's fine to do progressively less exercise the older we get. The truth is kind of the opposite. As you age, it becomes more important to exercise regularly. Perhaps even increasing the amount of time you spend exercising to compensate for the body changes in hormones and other factors that we can't control. And especially at our age, if we aren't in shape to take on hard things, the chances of injuries significantly increase. So get prepared, get in shape. I have a video that talks all about this in a lot more detail, but it's definitely worth mentioning in this video because not being physically prepared is a matter of safety. Tip number three is to befriend your trekking poles. Hiking poles can be a game changer, especially for those with knee or hip or balance concerns. They provide stability on uneven terrain, reduce the impact to our joints, and help provide a full body workout while we're hiking. Now, if you've never used trekking poles before, they might feel a bit clumsy or awkward at first, but stick with it. It'll get easier. Your knees will thank you later. If you'd like more information on this, I have some detailed information about the science of using trekking poles in a different video. Go check it out. Tip number four is hydration is key. And it's always been, right? We know that. Dehydration can sneak up on us, especially as we age. This is because our body composition changes with age. One study published by the Journal of Physiology found that when older people exercise, their bodies don't adjust the rate of sweat loss to prevent further dehydration. The study further indicated that the regulation of body temperature in older subjects was not influenced by the increase of saltiness in the blood. So, our less regulated sweating means less efficient regulation of body temperature. This contributes to an increased risk of heat exhaustion, of heat stroke, of adverse heart problems. A lot of serious stuff, right? The study found that with strenuous activities, there was greater strain to the heart, evidenced by more pronounced increase in heart rate in older folks compared to those who are younger. There's also an aging brain thing going on with older people. Dr. Nodar Janis, who is the medical director of Upper East Side Rehabilitation in New York, told Healthline that as we get older, our thirst center in the brain isn't as active as it used to be, so the brain doesn't always give us a signal that we need to take a drink of water. So if you're getting up there in years, don't strictly rely on the feeling of being thirsty to govern when you should take a sip of water. Be sure you pack plenty of water, and don't wait until you're thirsty to take a sip. Also, make your water easy to get to. Some backpacks have side pockets that are specifically designed for easy access to water bottles. There's also water bottle pockets you can put on your shoulder straps to make it easy for water access. Both of these methods don't require you to take off your pack to take a drink. Makes it very convenient. Another great method is to use a hydration pack, which is a water bladder inside your pack that has a long straw that clips to your shoulder strap for easy access to water while you're hiking. Water is necessary for nearly every bodily function. Water helps keep our joints lubricated and our body temperature regulated and our blood vessels functioning properly to pump blood to our muscles. So not getting enough water can have serious health consequences. So, story, keep hydrated. Okay, tip number 5 is to dress appropriately. Years ago, we didn't have a lot of choices in fabric blends. Cotton, wool, a few basic synthetic blends were predominant back then, right? But today, with increased research and technologies, we have many more choices of fabric blends. So, do a little research and choose wisely. One wise decision is to leave your cotton at home, because cotton does not have significant hollow fibers to insulate us. Yes, cotton is cool in the day, but if it gets wet, cotton retains water longer than many other fabrics. Therefore, if the weather turns cold, cotton will not keep you very warm, and it will increase your risk of hypothermia. That's why a lot of hikers say, keep your cotton at home. For all clothing except for maybe your outer shell, choose breathable fabrics that dry quickly. Now, outer shells are like rain jackets and wind jackets, and they're normally designed to be water and wind resistant. So these types of fabrics tend to be less breathable, of course, because their purpose is to create a wind and water barrier. Now, what does age have to do with all this? Well, as we age, because our body temperature regulation is not as good as it used to be, layering our clothes and managing those layers becomes even more important. Of course, layering makes it easier to adjust to changing weather conditions and body temperatures, right? You'll want at least a base layer, an insulation layer, and an outer shell. When you start getting too warm, you can take some layers off. When you start getting cold, you can put layers back on, right? If it's windy or rainy, you put your outer shell on. Also, don't forget a hat and sunscreen. UV protection is crucial at any age. Now, some facts to consider here. Suffering just 5 sunburns over your lifetime more than doubles your chances of developing melanoma, and each successive tan or sunburn after that raises your risks even further. Now, everyone is different, but we never know exactly how much damage will trigger a skin cancer. One bad burn in an older person on more delicate skin may be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. So use sunscreen and cover your skin. Now, you'll normally see me with my skin covered as much as possible with clothing that has high UV protective rating, right? I'll have long sleeve shirts, I'll have long pants, I'll have sun gloves, I'll have a hat, something to cover my neck, like a hoodie or maybe a large rim hat. I think it's important to cover my skin. Now, the most important and safer choice in clothing is always a functional decision. It's not a fashion statement, so choose wisely. Tip number 6 is to embrace the buddy system. There's something comforting about having a friend on the trail with you. Hoarding all the benefits of hiking to yourself just doesn't seem right. But not every friend is trailworthy. Hike with a partner who shares your pace, your fitness level, your purpose for hiking. Hiking with someone who is not similar to you or compatible with your habits and style could turn out to be a frustrating and regretful experience for at least one of you. But, learn to give a little. Enjoying the moment, if you're with someone, requires a little tolerance if your hiking partner isn't the perfect fit. Adjust and smell the roses, even if they have a few thorns. And whether you're hiking alone or not, let someone know your planned route and estimated return time. A virtual buddy, I guess you could say. And keep in contact with them at predetermined milestones like the summit, or maybe a turnaround point, or maybe your camping spot. And as we get older, loved ones become more concerned and watchful. You can ease their worries by staying in close contact with them while you're out hiking. And they could actually be a lifeline if the situation turns bad. Of course, safety is always a priority, and sometimes good company is the best safety net. Besides, great experiences are meant to be shared. Okay, tip number 7 is to pack smart. Take with you the essentials like a first aid kit, a whistle, emergency blanket, extra snacks for unexpected delays. I have a link to the 10 essentials for hiking down in the show notes. Go check that out. But remember, you don't need to carry everything but the kitchen sink, right? Lighten your pack by choosing multifunctional gear items and leaving unnecessary items behind. The weight of the carry matters because lighter carries reduces stress. And the older we get, the less stress our bodies can tolerate. I know, leaving behind some emergency items could be a safety risk for you, but think about your risk tolerance and find a reasonable balance that makes sense to you. Story time. I knew this guy who carried like a 60-pound pack on day hikes. It was huge. It was heavy. It's crazy. Yes, he was ready for anything, including, a stress injury from carrying too much weight. So just be reasonable. Okay, tip number 8 is change will happen. Right? Don't be afraid to alter your plans if you're feeling tired or the weather changes. Remember, the goal is to enjoy the journey, right? You aren't some Mongol conqueror, so reaching the summit isn't necessary. Conquering stuff isn't necessary. It's just a bonus. Take breaks often, soak in the scenery, and appreciate the beauty of nature and what's around you. That's what makes hiking so rewarding. If your mindset is on enjoying the journey, every hike will be awesome. Okay, to close this out today, hiking as you age isn't about pretending you're in your 30s anymore, right? It's not about pushing your limits. It's about realistically adapting your approach to match the limitations due to your age and whatever conditions you might have. It's about enjoying the new ways the trail can be loved. With a little planning, the right gear, and a healthy dose of self-awareness, you can continue to experience the magic of exploring well into your golden years. So, lace up your shoes, grab your poles, and let's get on the trail. It's waiting for you. And thanks for watching, everybody. Now, you know what to do, right? Go live like you want it. All right, see you on the trail. Hey, this is David on Earth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And go to the website for some deals on gear. All right, see you on the trail.